Jeremiah Proffitt, and welcome to another edition of Proffitt's Resurrected Land Cruisers TV. This is our 20th episode, and it's unfortunate that Chandra's not here to help celebrate it. We actually had to move our home, and so she's unpacking boxes today. Cannot be here, but I promise she'll be back in episode 21. We'll miss her on this one. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we've got 2 or 3 projects around here that we are resetting. What do I mean by that? I mean that 10 to 15 to 20 years ago, it was okay to do things to Land Cruisers that it's just not okay to do today. And so sometimes you got to go back and unmodify and unconvert things and reset them. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to show you some of the projects that have left the shop since our last episode, and we'll find something else entertaining to look at. So let's do it.
Since the last episode, we have had 3 Land Cruisers leave. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to get any of them on camera. We did a quick Stage 2 restoration on this 1988 FJ62 for a lucky birthday boy in Texas. An old build from nearly a decade ago made the journey from Pennsylvania back to the shop. We did some minor touch-ups and installed a new custom one-piece bench seat. The scope of this project crept up until it was nearly a Stage 2 restoration. But this 1978 FJ40 is now at home with its owner in Portland, Oregon. Finally, we finished a Stage 3 restoration on a 1971 ultra-rare factory soft top FJ40. This Horizon Blue California model FJ40 has already taken its place in the lineup at the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Look at this.
It's a Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday.
It is.
Yeah. Clint started Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday.
You got the Jimmy Buffett today.
Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy weld it. Jimmy rust repair it.
Yeah.
What are we doing, Clint?
Rain gutter. Yeah, there was a rack on here and it's all fatigued out, so it's doing a little.
Time to repair it.
Yep.
Have you every time we come to you, you're working on metal repair. That's kind of
that's my thing.
Your thing. Next time I'll make sure you're like doing upholstery or something.
Yeah, sewing machine.
So, what do you think happened to this? Why was it so? It was completely broken up, right? The whole rain gutter and cracked.
Yep.
Compromised, water getting in the car.
Yep.
I think that he caught it on a tree.
I think so too. That side, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Tried to rip the rain gutter or the rack off.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just dug out all the goo out of the weather channel there and then started piecing it back together.
What is the purpose of all of this cladding and protection and blankets and tape and paper?
Just to protect the interior, glass, rubber, anything that could get burned up. So.
Layer of protection.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, carry on, good sir.
All right then.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
So here we are under this FJ60 body off restoration that we're doing a 4L60E transmission in behind a 5.3 Vortec. And I get a lot of calls about this, so time to put it in a tech tip format. Transmission pan often interferes with the front drive shaft. It's because GM's drive shafts were on the left side of the transmission and we're going to put the drive shaft on the right, being a Toyota. So a couple of things make this an easy thing to do. One is we get this small drive shaft kit. This is a 19 spline small drive shaft kit from Advanced Adapters, and it allows us to use a 2-inch drive shaft tube and a littler Spicer type U-joint at the transfer case. But that small drive shaft kit isn't enough by itself. There's also a modification to the tranny pan that needs to be done. This transmission pan has been modified. We do it on all of the 5.3 Vortec with the 4L60E swaps and also 4L80 swaps, the same modification. The edge of this pan has been cut off just about a ½ an inch right here at the bottom, and a new piece of metal has been welded in and ground, because right here is going to would have been hit by the drive shaft upon suspension compression. So now that we have the modification done and we have the small drive shaft kit, we're going to get a really nice fit with the front drive shaft. Hey Chad. Woohoo!
How's it going?
So Chad here is one of our newer guys at the shop, and he has taken on a lot of projects, and he's learning a lot, and he's coming along really, really well. Chad, what have you learned since you started here, Proffitt's Resurrection Land Cruiser?
I've learned a ton so far. It's just been wonderful. Everyone here has just been great to work with, and the culture here is great. Continuously learning every single day and just loving it.
That's awesome. Chad's a smart guy, so smart people can come into this and usually pick things up pretty quickly. We only hire smart people. And we are hiring people, so if you're smart, you should call us. So Chad, you've got some body work you're doing on here. What's behind this? Why are we doing body work on the firewall of a Land Cruiser?
Really just to dress it up. We have a little imperfection here and a little dent, so we have to fill that in and get it straight and true, so when we throw some paint on it, it looks really good.
There you go. Sometimes on firewalls there's extra holes. People have added accessories. They drill the hole here so they can run a wire through or something. And it can't look like that, right? We want it to look like it was meant to be there, so.
We want it to look better than it came in by far.
Yeah.
We're professionals.
So at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned that 15, 20 years ago, people, including us, were doing things to Land Cruisers that probably shouldn't have been done to them, or at least shouldn't be done to them today. And so we were always finding ourselves resetting Land Cruisers closer to factory, getting rid of things that are less savory in today's market. And so this is one of those trucks. What are we doing to this, Eddie?
We are taking the Mercedes diesel out and putting the factory 3B diesel back in.
Yeah. We didn't put the Mercedes diesel in this, somebody else did. And I'm not sure why you would do that, really, anyway, but somebody had a reason to do it, and now it's going to go back to the way Toyota designed it. What do you think about that?
It'll be a much cooler truck.
Yeah.
Except going from 12 to 24 volt is going to be tough.
That's right. This was a 24 volt vehicle, then it was reset to a 12 volt vehicle. Now we're going to take it back to a 24 volt vehicle. Probably a lot of money spent on this thing over the years.
Yes.
And now it's going to be like it should have been. So this is actually a 1984 BJ42, so it's one of the final in the 40 series. There's another one sitting right over there, so it's cool to have two of them in the shop. And this one definitely deserves to go back to close to factory. And we're going to go over and look at another one that's getting some changes to it that make it back to closer to factory. So hey Roy, I was just showing these guys the engine unversion that we're doing over there, and you're doing some other sort of unversion. What are you working on?
I'm working on getting this truck back to more of a factory ride height. We do have a 2.5-inch lift that we're going with, but we're taking this truck back to a more stock.
Because it was sprung over before, and it was just too big for the owner who's going to use this as a daily driver in Hawaii. He wanted it a little bit lower, right? So what does this involve? What's the process?
Well, unfortunately, the previous axle had a cut and turn, so we've had to swap axle housings, and we did a shackle reversal as well, and we repainted everything, touched up the frame, because we had to do quite a bit of work there, and now we're at the process of getting it all back together as new painted parts.
Yeah, it's looking good. This guy will be super happy to get this. He's going to carry offshore racing canoes in it in Hawaii. So this Land Cruiser is going to have a super cool life when it leaves here. Roy mentioned a shackle reversal. So what's a shackle reversal? Well, the shackle on a Land Cruiser is usually at the front of the leaf spring. Right now, the way this is set up, it's at the back of the leaf spring. And the reason that we do that is because the shackle, as the spring compresses, it must get longer. And so as it does that, the shackle will swing back like this, which means that the axle, which is attached to the leaf spring, has to go back. as opposed to the factory design where the axle would be swinging forward. So as you hit a bump to compress the leaf spring, the axle used to get shoved into the bump. And so that makes for a lot harsher ride. We do the shackle reversal so that the axle is being forced up and away from the bump, and it drives a lot better. Pretty sure that Toyota had the shackle in the front and was forcing the axle into the bump for traction. So they had a better, more aggressive off-road vehicle, but it's not really that necessary, especially with traction devices that we have today, like lockers, to have the shackle in the front and compromise the drivability. So this thing's gonna drive super cool, and Roy, you're doing a great job. Thank you. So one of the things that we do here is try to continuously improve our processes and our systems and each product that we do. And so we've got some systems that Toyota uses in place to highlight problems, bring them to the surface so that we can solve them. So when there's a quality problem that needs to be solved or prevented from happening in the future, we've got an OnDon system. It's the same thing Toyota uses, and OnDon just means to stop, bring the problem to the surface so we can solve it. So this is the OnDon light. What it is when something comes up that we need to solve, the OnDon light gets transported, rolled to the location of the problem, turned on to the appropriate color, and then the techs are trained to pile on top of that problem, solve it, or learn about it to keep it from happening in the future. Continuous improvement of all processes and systems is what we're striving for. Well, here we have Randy, who is another new employee, brand new, just moved here from Florida. Randy, meet the audience, and what do you think about Colorado so far?
Hey everybody, love Colorado. I'm a longtime Land Cruiser enthusiast, and moving to here is like being in God's candy store. I've been running all the trails locally by myself and with a bunch of other people I met up here for the last 3 or 4 weeks. To work in here is basically a dream come true. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you. You're doing a good job. Well, you're doing some work on this. What do we got right here?
Yeah, a gentleman bought this and wanted us to run through it. We're doing a valve cover gasket and adjusting the valve, and we found some damaged parts from an improper installation of the rocker arm shaft. Somebody didn't align the bolts up to the shaft and then over tightened them and cracked the housings.
That looks like a repair that's been there for a while. It was working, but no point in putting it back together like that.
No, we got to do it right. So we went ahead and got some used parts, cleaned them all up, inspected everything, and reinstalled it back on the Jeep. Reinstalled it back on the Jeep. Reinstalled it back on the Jeep. Worked it down to the spec that says in the book, and it's going to be good to go.
All right. Local truck, 1981, factory power steering and AC FJ40. It's a holy grail of Land Cruisers, so it deserves the best. Thanks, Randy.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Yeah. So thanks for watching the show. As usual, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel to see many more episodes. Also, our website is resurrectionlandcruisers.com, @ProCruiser on Instagram, and we are Proffitt's Resurrection Land Cruisers on Facebook. Check you next time. So thanks for watching the show. If you like it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also check out all of our other social media outlets. There is YouTube. I'm not used to doing all of this. Why do I have to do everything?
You want me to get up there?
Where's my wife?
I got you.
Billy's coming.
I got you. All right, let's do this.
All right. Okay, ready? Wait, no.
Are you wide? Okay, here we go.
Wide.
Ready? Move a little closer. Ready? And action.
Because I'm used to doing this with my wife and I can't remember everything to say, I've got a wonderful stand-in, Billy. So, thanks for watching this show. As usual, please subscribe.
Please subscribe at YouTube at this channel you're watching right now. Check them out at Facebook at Proffitt's Resurrection Facebook.com.
Proffitt's Resurrection Facebook.com?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Close enough. also, check him out on Instagram by going to my page, looking up Proffitt's Resurrection, and subscribing.
Okay. Well, there's your blooper.